My name is Lindsey Dunnagan, and the project that I'm working on is called the Journey Home Project. Essentially is a labyrinth, an interactive labyrinth made of plexiglass walls that are 8 foot tall, and all of the imagery on those walls consist of locations that are important to people, other people. And the way that I received those locations were through donations. So people, mostly all over North Texas, sent in what makes them think of home. So, I had someone who donated a location from Washington State who actually lives here in Texas. Another person donated a little town in Texas called Laredo. So we had some people local to Texas and then people who thought of home outside of the state. So one way that I have been gathering locations is by just visiting a lot of different college groups, and they were generous enough to get their members involved and contributed quite a few locations. One way that they do that is I pass out these little treasure cards. They can put their name and what location reminds them of home and just slide it into the slot. And I have about 200 different cards. Hopefully I'll continue to gather more as the project grows and travels to different museums in the United States. This is a section view of what the project will look like, most likely. It's kind of a labyrinth, so there are lots of tall walls that you can weave in and out of, and all of the locations, like this place for example, are specific to what was donated. So, for example, this location of Bryan, Texas, will have someone's name, down in the corner specifying who actually donated that location. So as the viewer, as the person who comes to experience this, you won't actually know exactly where this location is, but you'll know the person who donated it. So in that way, it makes the project feel very intimate. You're going through all these glass panels and experiencing the treasures of the world in a way. In my work, I have been exploring a lot about identity and how that relates to location. I grew up in Anchorage, Alaska, where I spent my childhood. It was a very magical, exciting place of discovery. And then my parents split up and my mom moved my brother and I to Grapevine, Texas. And that was a very, very different experience. So, I spent a lot of time flying back and forth between my parents and looking out to the airplane window at the landscape and seeing these sort of scar-like divisions in rivers and mountains, and how that was a division of my heart and a division of my family in a way. And I started to think about how these locations really stay with you. Your idea of home really defines who you see yourself as. So personally, my work came from that standpoint in the beginning, and a lot of my earlier work is about myself and how I view myself based upon place. And now I'm able to get other people involved in that idea. Part of the idea of the project is that you're not only talking about locations, but you're talking about sort of the loss of accessibility to these places, because things are in flux, things change in those places. It's never the same. So as you are experiencing the labyrinth, you might see someone pass behind one of these panels, and as you can see, you just receive a silhouette of that person. They're not accessible fully. And so that is a metaphor for memories that we no longer have access to in the physical way. Even people that have passed, or people that we no longer keep in touch with in those places. So as you see people traversing the path behind you, ideas of past and present become that metaphor.